Welcome to Two Broads and Grit. I'm Lynn Hartram. This is Caitlin Greer.
Yep. Yes, it is.
And that's Lee Hazel.
Welcome to Two Toads in a Brit this week, isn't it?
Two toads. Oh, it's true. We have been belching pretty much all morning.
Well, when we say we, I want to make it clear that it was you two and not me. But basically, for the last 10 minutes, if this is for our 3 listeners that still tune into this shit every week. But I've been waiting for half an hour for these two to start, and they've just been belching. It's like listening to the oldest toad in the pond. It really is. It's been quite endearing. It really has. Caitlin's burps, I've basically discovered, I've described, if a burp could be shaped like anything, I'd call it the jester's shoe. Because they start off and it curls up. They curl up at the end. Yeah.
The jester's shoe sounds like a weird sex thing. It's like, you know, they have all those like,
well, it is. It is in England. Yeah, there's a term that week that we did all the funny things. The jester's shoes. So it's a bit like, you know, the vinegar strokes.
Vinegar strokes.
The jester's shoes is basically, as a bloke climaxes, his toes curl back. But yeah, so it's got to the jester's shoes.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah.
See, I know my sex terms.
There's a test on this at the end of the year.
Oh, gross. So today we thought we'd give you a little history lesson to go with our Spooky October series. We're going to get serious. I'm not going to tell you about a murderer. I'm not going to tell you about some fat guy who sits on children. I'm not going to tell you about another man who mummified his girlfriend and then continued to sleep with her for 8 years. I'm just going to tell you about the history.
No dog fucking tonight.
No dog dicks. It's pretty straightforward, which is really weird for me.
Right.
I'm just going to tell you about the history of Halloween because I want to know why Halloween is the way it is. Like how did it get to that point? Oh my God. Oh my God. Sorry. We have a runaway dog.
Dog on our lap who keeps going back and forth, back and forth.
Yep. Little dog just wants to be in everybody's lap. So I went, you know, when you want to know the history of something, you go straight to history.com. No, the internet.
Oh,
The library. Who does he think he's talking to?
What year is it? What year is
To the
it?
card catalog.
I went to the Dewey Decimal System and I said,
Ask Jeeves.
no, that's your British fuckers. I Googled it.
Right.
Jeeves, he got the sack. Yeah.
Jeeves did. Yeah, he sucked at his job. He wasn't great.
Yeah.
So
Tell us all about
let
Halloween.
me tell you about Halloween. So Halloween its origins date back to the Celtic festival of
Samhain.
Samhain. Thanks. I knew that you would know how to. I was like, I even wrote how to pronounce it, and I still can't pronounce it. Samhain. Spelled Samhain.
Yes.
So.
Oh yeah.
See, it's confusing.
It is.
Yeah.
The Celts lived 2,000 years ago in what is now Ireland, the UK, and northern France. They celebrated their New Year on November 1st. So that was a day that marked the end of the summer harvest and beginning of the winter. And winter was the time that they often associated with death because, you know, everyone just died in the winter because it was fucking cold as shit. And so they were like, we're going to associate it with death because everyone is dying. They felt the night before New Year, the boundary between the worlds of the living and the dead were blurred, and the ghosts of the dead could return to the earth. The Celts thought the presence of the spirits caused trouble, damaged crops, and made it easier for the Druids, who were the Celtic priests, to make predictions about the future. These predictions were an important source of comfort and direction during the winter. Because, you know, it's like 1 billion years ago.
Right.
There's nothing to do.
Right.
Winter, no, you can't Netflix and chill. You're just chilling, literally chilling.
Right.
There was no Dunkin' Donuts back then either.
There was no
D&D.
No. Scandalous.
Scandalous. The Druids would build huge sacred bonfires and people would gather to burn crops and animals as sacrifices to the Celtic deities. During the fires, the Celts would wear costumes that they made out of animal heads and skins.
We've all got that looking like that.
You know, I like to pop an animal head on now and then. Actually,
your head wouldn't fit over
the worst. It's
Imagine if I
disgusting.
had just like a Lou head right here in my
a headband with
little
Lou's
Lou.
face. I can't stand taxidermy and things like that. It really
Oh, yeah.
upsets me like greatly.
Yeah.
And we're in Florida and we're looking for houses, and Kenny walked into a garage of a house, and I took 2 steps in, and there was like a wall of mounted deer heads and such.
Yeah.
And he didn't see it right away, so he kind of saw it at the same time I saw it, and he turned around to try and tell me, and I was like, murder, and like left. I was like, it's a murder.
Yeah.
I can't do it. Okay.
Have you not noticed the bones I have? Do bones bother you?
No,
or
bones don't bother
Okay.
me.
Just the taxidermy.
It's when
where
people
they're,
like, yeah, because they still, you can look into their eyes.
Yeah.
I've got bones under my patio.
Yeah, we know.
We know.
You know what it always reminds me of, though, is you remember in Ace Ventura 2? Do you remember that movie at all?
Vaguely.
Sadly, I'm just getting over it.
He walks into, essentially, Ace Ventura loves all the animals and whatever.
I thought that was the worst film ever, and then
Wow.
some other film topped that. It's called Snakes on a Plane.
Yeah, Snakes
and
on a
I-
Plane is terrible.
Yeah, that's how spree shooting start. People just pay to watch these films and say, you know what, mate? I don't think I can go on anymore. Should we fucking get the guns?
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So, anyways, I digress. I don't even want to talk about Ace Ventura anymore. I digress. So they would wear animal heads and skins and like, do their thing. And then eventually the Roman Empire took over most of the Celtic territory. So 2 Roman festivals of Roman origin were kind of mixed in with Celtic celebration of Samhain. Samhain?
Yeah.
One of them called Feralia, which was a day later in October when Romans commemorated the passing of the dead. And then there was another celebration where they honored Pomona, who was the Roman goddess of fruit and trees. And her symbol is the apple. And they say that this may be part of the origin of bobbing for apples.
Ah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So then, in the 9th century, Christian influence spread to Celtic lands, where it gradually
ruined everything
and wrecked it. Wrecked them. Damn near killed them.
Sorry.
So I'm gonna say so like that a lot, I guess. I don't know why
It's
it's
right.
happening today.
It's good.
Motherfuck, this is hard.
You can do it. You can do it.
The Christians came and just shat all over the place. So Christian influence spread to
You've
the
been fucking talking to me for too long.
yeah. I like shat.
The
It
past
gives
tense.
more
Got more
gusto.
yeah.
Yeah.
And their influence spread to the Celtic lands where it gradually blended with older Celtic rites. After moving All Saints' Day from May to November 1st, the church made November 2nd All Souls' Day to honor the dead. And it's thought that the church was attempting to replace the Celtic Festival of the Dead because they can't just leave other people's things alone.
They have to claim them for themselves.
And then, ironically, All Souls' Day was celebrated with large bonfires, parades, and dressing in costumes, but they didn't use animal heads this time. They dressed in costumes as saints, angels, and devils. So much like today, except today
Skankier.
it is slutty saints, slutty angels, and slutty devils. Halloween, the time of year to dress like a slutty version of everything you ever wanted to be. Slutty pencil, you got it. Slutty poop, I'm sure it's out there. That's all I got. So also, oh wait, I already read that. So that thing that they stole where they were doing the bonfires and dressing in costumes, that was also referred to as All Hallows or All Hallowmas, kind of like Christmas. Leaving the night before it to be called All Hallows Eve.
Nice. I'm going to say Happy Hallowmas now on November 1st.
Happy Hallowmas. I'd rather sing Hallowmas songs than Christmas songs. It's the worst. I'll make some Hallowmas songs.
I do like Christmas. Believe it or not.
Christmas is the worst. So then let's pop on over to America, right?
America.
Where we really wreck everything. The Protestant beliefs that were in colonial New England really limited the celebrations of Halloween because no fun, right? It was a no fun zone.
Mm-hmm.
Witch, burn her.
I'm not a witch. I'm your wife.
I'm your wife. Doesn't matter. Burn her anyway. It was much more common to celebrate in the southern colonies. The blending the different European ethnic groups and American Indian customs and beliefs are what created the American version of Halloween. In the first celebrations, there were public events held to celebrate the harvest where people would share stories of the dead, tell fortunes, dance, and sing. I kind of like that. I think that's fun. That's pretty cool. And then this also began to involve the telling of ghost stories and mischief making. So during the second half of the 19th century, the waves of new immigrants in America helped make the celebration of Halloween nationally popular. But that was like when it started to be, people started to cause trouble. Because there was a long period of time where it was way more tricks than treats, and it became kind of a problem. So the American Halloween tradition of trick-or-treating.
Is that just an American thing?
It is.
Is it? Oh.
Do they trick-or-treat in England?
No, they play knock down ginger instead. Yeah.
No candy involved.
No, we don't really do it. We don't really do Halloween.
It is an American thing.
It's the greatest day of the year.
It is.
Oh.
Kenny,
it is. I love Halloween.
Well, you know what? We have the bonfire night, then we? That's November.
You just burn people, right? You just burn.
we just burn it.
You burn the kids. You burn the kids in costume. You're like trick.
We just burn Guy Fawkes instead on top of a big fire and let off fireworks around it instead.
I love that.
They have a lot of
I kind of
forks
like
that they
that
throw
too.
on the fire. And they're like, hey, guy.
Little fish forks. Well, fuck me with a fish fork. So, what? I have something in my eye. It's really wrecking my life. So, it was my finger. That was my mom would say. I was going to tell you guys something. Oh, the first Halloween that we were at our house,
yes,
Kenny accidentally left the front light on because when you leave the front light on, that's how the trick-or-treaters know that you have candy. He gave a kid a granola bar.
What?
He had nothing else. He was like, I'm sorry, kid. Don't tell the other kids in the neighborhood. He gave him a granola bar.
Well, at least he wasn't the people that hand out like toothbrushes.
We don't have extra toothbrushes
Boxes
in our
of
house.
Raisins.
Yeah.
I like raisins.
Oh, they're disgusting. It's like a bunch of rat turds in a
It
box.
is always candy. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are those jerks that try to be healthier and they'll hand out like toothbrushes or
Apples.
like I said, apple or boxes of raisins, which are like a bunch of little like rabbit turds stuck together in a box.
I love raisins.
I think they're disgusting.
Right.
I just spit
them.
again. I'm spitting everywhere.
She's
Sorry.
a fountain.
Oh, we're gross this morning.
I'm okay with it.
But I think, I mean, what else? Like there are like and those houses get a reputation in the neighborhood.
Yeah, and then kids don't go there.
You know who else gets a reputation, but good? The people who hand out full-size candy bars.
Yeah, you go to those neighborhoods. Because usually they're mini size.
You know the little fun-size ones?
Oh, okay.
So some people...
spreads for the next year.
Yeah, well, some people will buy the big full-size candy bars, and they'll give full-sizers out.
There's a place here in Ipswich.
Go
there. Funeral home.
I still
they hand out full size. They hand and they'll give it to the parents too. Here you go. Would you like one? I'm like, fuck yes, I would.
One of my aunts was that person. It was pretty awesome. She was great.
There is a house here too, I think, that actually does king size.
That's crazy.
I know it is.
That's nonsense.
How much money would you spend on king size candy bars for everyone? But I will take it.
That's a lot of sweets in, isn't it? If you're expecting, 20 or 30 visits a night, isn't it?
Yeah. What's the problem?
Listen,
don't fucking talk to me like that.
It's Halloween.
That's the whole point.
Yeah. Well,
the kids come home with literally a giant bag,
like pillowcase.
Yeah, or pillowcase, like that big, full of candy.
I used to do pillowcases.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Yeah.
So anywho, the American Halloween tradition of trick or treating probably dates back to early All Souls Day parades in England. During those festivities, the poor citizens, not like, poor citizens, but like, damn, they broke citizens, would beg for food.
Hung for an apple citizen.
Yeah, they would beg for food, and families would give them pastries called soul cakes in return for their promise to pray for their family's dead relatives. So they would give them cakes for prayers. 1877 cakes for prayers. K-A-K-E, I didn't spell cake right.
I don't think Lee gets that reference.
Lee, there's a horrible commercial here for donating your car, and I'm not going to sing it again.
No.
You make as if there's a fucking decent commercial.
Oh, Lee is enamored with the commercials here.
All right.
That's another story. Matt Moniz can tell you all about that.
Yeah.
I used to have a podium of the worst free commercials I ever saw in America. Health products, the most that was being sold to you guys. Anyway,
they don't have the prescription medication commercials.
Oh, really?
No.
Where they're like, the side effects may include
diarrhea,
death, destruction, and
your
organs coming out of your
internal
butthole.
explosions.
Yeah.
And it's just a pill for depression.
It's called a bullet, isn't it?
Yeah, seriously.
Take this gun, mate, and a bullet. Just fire it once. Yeah. It'll be gone by the morning.
Yep. So crazy. We're crazy over here. We're crazy.
If you need help with depression, please call.
Please take Diltex. Diltex may have side effects including further depression, thoughts of suicide, more depression.
I love that. That's always
this is the thing that got me about on the telly and the commercials. It's like, do you and your family sleep at night where this isn't in place or that place,
Yeah.
And at the end they would say, right, buy this product. Fuck off.
For the listeners, Lee is once again wrestling with his windsock. Take it however you wish.
Get some more tits every fucking week. I've got to move it. Anyway, so where was I? You get to the end of the commercial, it says, right, side effects include, fucking arseache, bellyache, your dick might shrink, your lungs are going to fucking burn up. It's like go one after what?
Yeah. And it's like a pill for indigestion.
Yeah. It's like an allergy pill.
Me, Matt and Joe would sit there and think, fucking hell, my God. I mean, there was one where this woman basically, it's basically this contraption to clear your nose.
Oh, yes.
Oh, the neti pot.
It's I can't remember. It's like the lavage one.
Oh,
has the little thing that go up.
It's a big fucking tank of water.
Yeah.
And then they're fucking holding this thing. What's wrong with blowing your fucking nose into a hanky?
Sometimes.
What the fuck is wrong with it?
Hanky. Kayla, do you have your hanky?
I've got to get my hanky.
Well, you just have a good old fucking blow in your hanky, didn't you? You don't have to get like a fucking fish tank and fucking snort that up your nose.
Lee, how do you make a hanky dance?
Go on.
Put a little boogie in it.
There it is.
Back to the soul cakes. Dad joke of the day. The distribution of the soul.
About the windsock.
Oh no, please. Do you know that windsock is a term for a floppy dongle? Just saying.
It's quite ironic lately. There you go. Right.
So floppy dongles aside.
Yes, they are.
Depends on which way the wind's blowing.
We're just fucking cracking ourselves up today.
This is so stupid.
Laugh happy.
This is so stupid. The distribution of soul cakes was encouraged by the church as a way to replace the ancient practice of leaving food and wine for roaming spirits. The practice, which was referred to as going a soulin', no joke, I'm a going a soulin', was eventually taken up by children who would visit the houses in their neighborhood and be given ale, food, and money. So that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
That's nice.
They give them beer then.
Yeah. Was there anything else to drink?
I guess not. You get diarrhea.
Yeah.
Symptoms would include anal leakage.
Start them young.
Yeah. Get them going. The tradition of dressing in costume for Halloween has both European and Celtic roots. Hundreds of years ago, winter was an uncertain and frightening time. Food supplies often ran low, and for the many people afraid of the dark, the short days of winter were full of constant worry.
I love afraid of the dark. Oh God, it's dark.
Oh, the sun is going away. Is it ever going to come back?
They probably didn't know about the seasons back then, did they?
I mean, I'm sure they
would think
figured out that
they
it was like
would. They're not.
going to be cold.
Sorry.
That's Lynn's relieving herself.
Oh, fucking hell.
I'm pouring some more tea in my cup, and I just realized
Sounds exactly
like I'm peeing.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not.
I'm peeing.
We just stick with the burping.
I think they're gone.
They'll come back. They always do.
Okay. So on Halloween, when it was believed that ghosts came back to the earthly world, people thought they would encounter ghosts if they left their homes. So to avoid being recognized by the ghosts, people would wear masks when they left their homes after dark, so the ghosts would mistake them for fellow spirits. Those people were so dumb. Like, really? You can't see me? They were John Cena-ing all over the place. You can't see me. You can't see me. I have a mask on. I'm way smarter than you, Ghosty. I put my mask on.
He's not amused. These are his relatives you're speaking
I've
of.
just had a mouthful of Coke. Sorry.
Alrighty.
Better than a mouthful of cock. So...
Are you asking me?
No one.
Okay, this is my favorite thing about Caitlin. The Caitlin, I'm gonna see what you do stares. Say something really awkward, like a better than a mouthful of cock, and then she does this.
I like to see. I also don't like.
Answer that.
I don't like to laugh at my own jokes.
I don't know
like
how
it's
to
weird.
answer that.
So I try to make the joke, but then not laugh about it. But then it doesn't. So I have to.
I mean, how am I supposed to respond to that?
You don't.
She gets very still too. Like,
yeah.
It's like a freeze frame.
Yeah. What's gonna happen?
It's like when Zach Morris like jumps in the air and Saved by the Bell or whatever the fuck that is. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Oh yes, you're right. There it is.
So Jester Shoe.
Oh, Jester Shoe.
I apologize.
Two names now. Jester Shoe.
That's the call me the old Jester Shoe. That's just
Welcome to Two Bras and a Brit with Jester Shoe and Beefaroni.
Lynn's name's Beefaroni. I'm not telling you why.
No.
But it is. You can
Let's
call me
just say-
Queefaroni.
Yeah. Let's just say, from my point of view, it's been an educational build-up to the show, shall we say.
You're learning
Quite
a
the
lot.
morning.
So people are walking around with masks, so the ghosts don't recognize them. And then to keep ghosts away from their houses, people would place bowls of food outside of their homes to appease the ghosts and prevent them from attempting to enter. Because, ghosts are hungry.
Right, yeah, well, they haven't eaten in a while.
And they can't float through doors anyway.
Right. I hear it goes right through them, though.
So... A moment of silence for Lynn.
I should have done. I hear it
That
goes right
was
through them.
my joke with last week about the headless. When I said the pub's haunted across the road because the beer's headless.
Yeah.
That was,
Then every time you tell one of those jokes, you just got to stop and go. It's like waiting for applause.
yes.
When you do a live show, I'm
Yeah,
constantly performing.
Yeah.
So us fucking stupid Americans come along and we borrow from all the European traditions, and we started to dress up in costumes and go house to house asking for food or money, and that slowly became known as what is now today's trick-or-treating. So
Wait, food or money?
yeah.
Well,
Sure,
money,
mate,
bitch.
come on,
Put that candy bar away.
Maybe
Yeah.
I'm really hungry though. Maybe. I think money. I was gonna say I think I would pick food, but money. Unless it was a Big Mac, because I'm pretty sure that I would like just love me a good Big Mac. In the late 1800s, there was a shift to begin to make Halloween about community and neighborly get-together, that like more about that than about ghosts and pranks and witchcraft, which is sad.
Right.
Making Halloween parties for children and adults the most popular way to celebrate. So newspapers started to encourage communities to take away all of the frightening and grotesque things out of Halloween celebrations. And that was the cause of Halloween losing most of its superstition and religious overtones.
Well,
So
that's good, I guess.
it's kind of cool that they
Of
took the
losing the
religious stuff
religious.
out of there, but like Really? Give me the scary.
Right.
Give me the gory.
It comes
That's what
back.
it's
Don't
about.
you worry.
It does
Caitlin.
come back. So in the 20s and the 30s, the holiday had become a community-centered holiday with parades and town-wide parties, and even with all the community things going on, there was still a lot of vandalism that began to happen, and it began to become a major issue.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What a fucking shithole.
Yeah. Well, you know what I mean. It's like trick or treat, bitches. And they're just like smashing kids through windows, because that's what I would do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're wearing a costume? Boop. Throw them into.
Superman, let's see if you can fly.
Yeah, let's see how this goes, Soupy. Come on, little ghosty. See how far I can kick you. By the 50s, towns had limited vandalism and refocused the holiday towards young children. They laid the smack down, essentially.
Yeah.
And they were like, this is about little kids, which I really hate because it makes me feel bad, because I still would go trick-or-treating. I would still go trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
As a grown-up.
Oh, would you?
Yeah.
See, that is one of the nice things about having kids, is you can just go trick-or-treating with them.
I hand out candy now.
Yeah.
Last year.
Go on, darling. Do it for me.
That's what I'll be saying behind Caitlin.
Yeah.
Come on, darling. Do
I'm
it
small
for
enough.
money.
Darling, do it for me.
I might be small enough that I could like
You
put on a
can pass for a
mask
teenager.
and be like,
and as you,
twinkle tweet.
yeah, and as you're walking down the pavement, you think, what a bunch of tight
And I'll go, come on, Johnny, do it for mommy. And they'll think like,
Darling. And I'll,
you're my special girl.
yeah,
Mhm.
she's my special girl.
I'll just be like, look at her. She makes her mommy so proud.
Yeah.
So
Caitlin's like,
between the 20, like, you know, the last time I went trick-or-treating, I wanted to dress up as Barbie, but then I got conjunctivitis in both eyes, so I looked like crackhead Barbie.
that is somehow appropriate for you.
My
feel
life.
Like,
I
yeah,
literally-
love it.
though, wouldn't it?
I love
It's
it.
better though, wouldn't
I
it?
straight up looked like a crackhead.
That's hilarious. I love it.
You know what I learned in October the 31st is a funny day for me, because my dad died on Halloween
Mhm.
2 years ago. So in all my visits to America, I've been there like 18 times, and then last year, you know, I was there for 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
In that time, I'd never been in America in Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
I'd been in America in October, and I'd seen all the build up on the pumpkins
Mhm.
and the houses, and you know, the front gardens all being decorated. But I'd never been. So on Halloween, I was walking down the road and stuff, and I saw it doesn't have to be a scary costume, does it?
No.
There was these 2 kids, so brother and sister probably. One was dressed up as a bottle of tomato sauce, and the other one was ketchup. And the other one was mustard.
That's hilarious.
That's awesome.
Ketchup and mustard.
I was like, and there's 2 little feet at the end of it. And I thought, well, what's the fucking scary thing about that?
No,
It doesn't have to be scary.
No, it doesn't have to be. And there was other kids dressed as that wasn't scary outfits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
Were you under the impression that it was all scary outfits?
Well, yeah, I thought it was that, but I know it's predominantly that. But I was in
It's all slutty outfits.
Slutty
at the time,
outfits.
I was in Tennessee.
Yeah. The kids don't usually do scary outfits.
Kids
Kids
don't.
usually just do like.
I was a skeleton for like 5 years in a row.
That's awesome.
I really just wanted to. Yeah, that's all. I wore it until I couldn't fit in the costume anymore.
Well, you should go to Dunkin' Donuts. That do you?
Well, now I'm not a skeleton. I don't have that problem anymore. Ask my hash browns.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let me tell you. So I'm wrapping it up. So between the 20s and 50s, trick-or-treating was also brought back as an inexpensive way for the community to celebrate the holiday. The theory being they can prevent the tricks by providing the treats.
Clever.
So anyone, did you look at this?
No.
Do you want to guess how much Americans spend on Halloween, like annually?
Per
Well,
person
on
or
No,
sweets.
total?
just an estimate as Americans. How much, just in general, how much they spend on Halloween stuff?
I
Go
will
on,
go-
go on, you go first, Lynn.
I'll say 4 million.
Okay, Lee.
Oh, well, per person.
No, not
in
per
total.
person, just in total as the country.
You think the average citizen has 4 million to just throw around for Halloween?
No, well, clearly, well, do you know? Depends where you are. How many people in America? 350 million. So
No,
let's
it's
say
more
they
than
all
that,
spend
isn't it?
I'd say $2 billion.
$6 billion annually. It's $6 billion we spend on Halloween, coming in second to Christmas.
Wow.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So that's basically, I don't know, $20 a head then, isn't it? Give or take.
I don't do math, so sure.
Yeah.
Whatever you say, mathematician Lee.
Mathematician.
Stephen Hawking.
It's definitely more than $20 per person.
I mean,
you spend more than that on candy alone.
On average, on
Yeah.
average, someone might spend $100, the next person might spend $5. But on
Depends
average,
on where you live too. Like if you're in a neighborhood where there's a lot of kids, you're going to be spending a lot more on candy. If you want to have enough,
Right.
you'll be spending probably $100 on
Right.
candy.
And then costumes and parties and decorations,
which
and
is like my house.
all that kind. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I found a couple of lost and lesser known rituals.
Ooh, okay.
Most of them have to do with women trying to find husbands. So
Nice. Yep.
Mm.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Do you know, just cutting in here, the best Halloween house that I saw was actually in Memphis.
A nice thing about Memphis.
Wow.
Well, no,
imagine that.
they decorated their entire house to look like an advent calendar.
Cool.
An advent?
No, because all the windows were boarded up.
Oh, I wouldn't call that an advent.
It was a joke.
An advent.
It was a
calendar.
joke.
I don't get it though.
Because you open the windows on an advent calendar. Oh,
Lou. Oh, hold on.
Okay,
Sorry.
come on, little
Lou,
legs. So, that's funny. Sorry, Memphis. Again. You really got me going.
Right?
This is the second time that you're like...
I enjoyed looking at your face as I was delivering that.
I'm like, oh my God. Well, she didn't get it. And
well, Lynn didn't get it. I thought you'd get it, Lynn, if you've got children. Then you give them advent calendars.
I do, but not Halloween ones, so it threw me off.
No, it's a...
Goodbye.
I didn't get it.
Well, it's fine.
Okay.
Next.
It's fine, Lynn!
Sorry!
You broke Lee. You broke him. Everyone's crying. We need...
Last show, that's it. Done.
That's it.
Fuck that.
I've accomplished it. I can die now.
I always thought it would be me. It's fine. So, most of the old rituals had to do with helping young women identify their future husbands and reassuring them that they would someday, with luck, by next Halloween, be married.
Ooh.
Because that's all we needed to do was
Right.
just get married. In 18th century Ireland, a matchmaking cook might bury a ring in her mashed potatoes on Halloween night, hoping to bring true love to the diner who found it. Or death, because he choked on the ring.
That's what you call love spuds.
Also,
Loves.
why do we have to be so racist and say in Ireland, like putting potatoes in Ireland?
Right.
Like, that's a racism.
A racism. I like how that's a noun.
It
now
is.
it's a racism.
That's a racism.
I mean, you're lucky to find anyone in Ireland that's sober to begin with.
Yeah.
Well, they never said it had to be a sober husband.
It wasn't sober,
Hmm.
but she could have put it in his whiskey.
That is a joke.
In Scotland, fortune tellers recommended that an eligible young woman name a hazelnut for each of her suitors and then toss the nuts into the fireplace. The nut, I like just saying the nut a lot. The nut that burned to ashes rather than popping or exploding, the story went, represented the girl's future husband. In some versions of this legend, the opposite was true. The nut that burned away symbolized a love that would not last. I don't understand how a burnt nut can represent your husband. See this burnt nut?
Yeah.
This reminds me of Jimmy. Me and Jimmy are in love, and we're going to get married because he looks like this burnt nut. I don't want to marry somebody who looks like a burnt nut.
Nope.
Well,
Next, another tale.
well, if you go on Tinder, there's plenty of people that look like, you know.
I'm sure a lot of girls get a burnt nut off of Tinder, but
Or
if you're
guys.
lucky.
or guys,
goes
but that's
wrong.
Grindr, so that's different.
Right, yeah. I'm not on there. That's next.
Okay,
Oh.
No, I'm not gay. I just help them out when they're busy.
you just give them a hand. I held it for so long. I like to see the silence. Hold for applause. Another tale said that if a young woman ate a sugary concoction made out of walnuts, hazelnuts, and nutmeg before bed on Halloween night, that she would dream about her future husband.
That's a lot of nuts.
So
Walnuts,
many
hazelnuts,
nuts.
and nutmeg.
Yeah.
That's it. If you eat these nuts, you're going to get married. Eat these nuts, kid. You're going to get married.
I was going to say, do you think it's like metaphorical? Like,
yeah, nuts.
hey, ladies,
Nuts.
let's
nuts,
talk about nuts.
And then the
Yeah.
men, and on the opposite side, the men are just eating a lot of
Fish.
clams. If you put this halibut under your pillow at night,
Fuck's sake.
you'll dream of your future wife.
Throw the clams into the fire. Whichever one pops open will be your wife.
Pop that clam.
Oh, okay.
This might be the episode, Caitlin.
This
Where
is the
you
one.
completely and utterly destroy
okay.
Lee.
It's okay.
Yeah, you get newsflash. Like BBC breaking news. Hazelnut resigns from show.
You can't resign.
No, we need the little bit of class.
We need the
Oh,
Brit.
fuck it. You're looking at me for class. Fucking hell.
Well, I've been belching this whole time, so it sure as shit ain't me. Another
It's not you
one.
then, is it? Yeah.
No, there was never a question about it.
We're ladies to the man of bone.
Well, I mean, next week we should get Bill on it.
Oh God, he would do it. He'd come on.
Yeah, we can have. We'll have a spouse episode. Another one
That would be
was
hilarious.
young women tossed apple peels over their shoulders, hoping the peels would fall on the floor in the shape of their future husband's initials.
That sounds appealing.
They tried to learn about their futures by peering at egg yolks floating in a bowl of water,
Oh,
and stood in front of mirrors in darkened rooms holding candles and looking over their shoulders for their husband's faces. That's scary.
That's creepy.
Yeah, yeah.
Imagine, first of all, egg yolks.
In water.
Oh, let me put this egg in the water. It's going to tell me where my hubby is.
Yeah, yeah.
I know how to find a man. Crack.
Yeah.
Tell me, oh yolk, what do you see? Fucking dumb. Why were people so dumb?
They had nothing else to do.
That's very true. Other rituals were more competitive. At some Halloween parties, the first guest to find a burr on a chestnut hunt would be the first to marry.
What is a
What's a burr?
What's a bird?
What the
I think
chestnut
burrs
nut?
are like those little, like almost Velcro-y things in nature. Do you know
What do
about?
chestnuts look like when they're not? When they're still in the
They're just like,
pod or whatever? Do they have like?
they're like little black balls.
I don't know.
I love roasted.
There's a bloke who sells roast chestnuts right by Tower Bridge. Two pound a cup of them.
Oh,
They
well,
walk past
Do
it every
they sell
night.
them around here?
Yeah,
I don't
we-
know.
They smell.
I don't know. I used to have them on at Christmas time. My grandfather
They
would.
smell fucking lovely.
They do smell
fucking lovely.
delicious.
I've
It's not-
seen
it's-
like you can buy the chestnuts, but we don't. I've never seen anybody like that has like a chestnut roasting stand.
Yeah.
Whatever you.
And oddly enough, he's 10 metres from the ice cream van.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
There's a bloke selling ice creams.
Get your nuts and cream.
What?
Wait. Before we continue talking about nuts and cream, I have one last thing, and then we can go on a rampage. So the last thing, this is the funniest one to me. It says the first successful apple bobber would be the first down the aisle. Essentially,
Of course, it would be.
you get a good bob.
Yeah.
She's a keeper.
She could put the whole apple in her mouth.
They could put,
Carry that.
yeah, they could put a banana in there, see how fucking much she can take.
Bobbing for bananas sounds like my 20s.
You know. Fucking hell, you fucking. You fucking foul fuck.
Wow. He's not holding back on you today.
I told him. I want it. It's gonna be mean to me.
Foul fuck.
That's
That's
accurate.
beyond anything
It's
I've ever
not-
gotten from Lee.
It's not untrue. It's pretty accurate.
Right.
Lee, have you ever dressed up? So you've never really dressed up for Halloween then?
No.
No. That's That's
Sorry.
like
No,
it's not a it's not a sorry.
We have the firework thing, and it's only a week later. It's only
Yeah.
the firework night in Britain is absolutely massive, and it goes on for about a week.
That's
And
really
that is
cool.
apart from Christmas, that is probably the biggest night of the year.
Right.
November the 5th, and from Saturday to Saturday, it's fireworks all over the country.
That's really
It
cool.
goes on all night, for about a week.
Wow.
So that's the big thing, and it's so close to Halloween. They do sell Halloween stuff, but they don't just.
It's not for you.
No, well, it's just not for the country. I don't.
Yeah,
think.
it's not a big thing. Do you do like costume parties and stuff over there though?
They do, children do, and stuff like that, but it's no way near as big as it is in America.
It's so sad.
Near.
All right. Well, that's going to make my last question irrelevant, but what's your favorite Halloween costume that you ever did?
I don't know if you'll remember this because I'm older. And Lee, I don't know if you guys ever had the Carol Burnett show. Did you ever watch that?
Mm-hmm.
Who she played for?
Exactly.
Yes. Do you remember at the end of the show?
What a season she said. Oh, yeah.
The little, it was like a cartoon maid that swept up. Yes.
Yeah.
I dressed up as her one year when I was 5.
All right. That's very obscure. I like it.
I think I probably had the same hairdo.
Yeah.
Well, when you were 5, you were living in Saudi Arabia, weren't you?
No, I was in Florida, so it was appropriate.
It's appropriate.
Right.
Lee, have you ever dressed up in a costume that was like your favorite costume ever? Or
I've played many demanding roles in my time, Caitlin.
All right.
But I've not. I went to. It wasn't a Halloween.
Right.
Well, we have we call fancy dress. You have a fancy dress party. But I went to a fancy dress party on New Year's Eve when I was about 24, 25. And it's the best outfit I've ever worn.
All right.
And I went as someone from the 1700s.
Oh, cool.
The whole, the triangular shape, sort of big hat, the big sort of, big long coat.
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
The trousers that finish at the knee, the socks. Fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
that sounds awesome.
That's probably the one I can remember. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
My favorite costume that I ever dressed as was professional wrestler Macho Man Randy Savage.
Nice.
Randy Savage.
No.
The name.
He always wore the cowboy hats and the sunglasses, and he had fringe, fringe in the sleeves. And he was the Slim Jim rep. Yeah. He did the Slim Jim commercials.
Do you guys know what Slim Jims are?
Slim Jims are like beef jerky. They're like jerky sticks.
It's disgusting.
It's gross. But and my best friend was Hulk Hogan.
Oh my God.
So we were Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage, and we just ran around. And I had, and it was my favorite costume. I had a beard. I had the wig, the hat. It was awesome.
It's amazing.
It was my favorite costume. That, and then when Kenny and I went as, he was the genie from Aladdin, and I was the bad Jafar when he turned into a genie, because I didn't want to be I hate dressing up. I was like, I'm not going to be Jasmine. That's awful. So I was like, I want to be Jafar when he's a genie.
That's amazing.
But Kenny he shaves his head, so I made him a little ponytail because the genie has a ponytail, and we couldn't get it to stay on his head, so we super glued it to his head.
That's commitment.
Yeah.
Kenny,
he looked awesome. I'll find you guys a picture.
Oh, sure, indeed.
It was. We painted our whole body, so he was all blue. I was all red. It was awesome.
I wish I did that. I would have gone as the parrot. I can't remember his name. Iago, yes.
You would have gone as what?
The parrot.
The what?
Remember the red parrot?
The what, Lynn?
The parrot.
What did you get? Sorry, say it again.
Parrot, like a bird.
I'm not going to fucking keep repeating like a parrot. I know what you're doing, buddy.
I didn't get it.
This is what I think of that.
I didn't get it.
I don't find that funny, Lee.
Bloody hell, Lee. Oh, for fuck's sake.
You said it about 4 times, though, Lynn.
I know. It took me a little while.
I kept going. I was like, a fucking parrot.
No,
I get that, but my brother done that on me years ago, and I've been doing it ever since. So it's been passed down or passed across in the family.
It's a joy.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
All right. Well, that's it. That's the history of Halloween mixed with burps and weird random tangents that we've all just gone on. We talked
You're
about
welcome.
Lee's Windsock.
Yeah.
We talked about prescription commercials and their side effects. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for listening. Thanks for fucking putting up with our bullshit
Mhm.
and dealing with this and maybe even enjoying it, which is weird to me.
Sorry. If you
I mean,
did.
if you enjoy this, then cool.
Cool. Sorry.
So,
Perish the thought.
all right. Well, follow us on all of these social media that you can find us on, which is only 2 things. Because I don't know how to use the other things. Fucking send us an email if you want to. Write on our Facebook wall. Comment on a picture. Post a picture.
Right.
Tell us a story. Go.
What's your favorite costume
What's
you ever
your
wore?
favorite costume you ever wore? Bonus for pictures.
Yes.
Bonus for pictures. I don't know what the bonus is.
You will get a shout out on the next show.
Oh, marvellous. I'm sure they'll be queuing up.
Who did we say we had to shout out? I told you.
Roy?
Who's Roy?
No, am I getting his name wrong? The guy that you do his hair? That came in?
Rudy!
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 What up, Rudy?
Thanks for listening, buddy.
Hello, Rudy.
Hope I look slightly better than the last time you saw me.
Hello to Rudy. Thanks for watching the show.
Rudy.
And, putting up with this shit.
Oh, wait, Rudy listens, doesn't he?
Rudy listens, so he won't see it.
All he knows of me is
Rudy listens.
tinfoil hair.
I mean, whoever Rudy is, the poor bastard's got to listen to your burps in this episode. So
he doesn't have to listen to my burps, and he doesn't have to listen to me talk when I cut his hair, which is really probably the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
It's not.
Because I just so on that note, everyone can just, go get some Halloween candy, get your favorite kind, king size, hopefully. Don't share it with a neighbor. Don't put needles in it and give it to kids.
Nope.
And then go fuck yourselves.
yes.
Goodbye.
Good night. God bless.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm
Fucking
really
magic.
sorry. It's just
Absolute fucking magic. Excuse my toad. She's a friend.
okay. Oh, hold on. I got. No, never mind. I thought I was gonna burp again. What the fuck? Jester shoe. That's pretty. Okay. He was horrified.